So, if a college says that they are SAT optional, does that mean they are less competitive compared to other schools, or?
Great question. Not necessarily. So more and more schools we're finding are going test optional. So whether it's SAT or ACT, going test optional. And some of those schools are extremely competitive. So for example, a Wake Forest is a great example of a very competitive test optional school. What some schools are finding is that standardized tests are not always an accurate predictor of how a student is going to perform in college. So many schools are taking this holistic approach and looking at all of the different aspects of you, not just your standardized tests.
Do you have any college resume tips for students who are starting to go into this process?
Yeah, the resume is important. I think there are probably three things I would say are of the utmost importance. While it's not very appealing in an everyday situation for a student or an adult for that matter to go around boasting and bragging about themselves, the resume is actually a place where you have to do that. It is very important. The second thing I would say is we often forget some of the things that we've done. So talking to the people that you're closest with, in most cases your parents, are going to remember everything that you've done and every accolade that you've received or every award that you've received. So it's really important to tap into their knowledge and their memory of all the great things that you've done. I would say the third most important thing is grammar. Nothing worse than a typo in a resume.
So I've heard that you have taught some of our current faculty members. Who were they and what were they like in class?
I did teach several. I taught Mr. Lasasso, Mr. Justin Lasasso, not Mr. Nicholas Lasasso. I taught Mr. Brumell, Mr. McHale, Mr. Gonzalez, and I taught Mr. Burke as well. What was it like having them in class? It's great to work with them now. They were great in class as well. I could really give you some great stories, but we'll save that for another time.
So as Ms. Coyle, as a junior, starting to get into the entire college process, what is something I should really look for when visiting a college?
Great question. This is the perfect time for you to be visiting colleges. I know you went on a college tour with me last summer, so Spencer actually has some good background. But a student should really be looking for the right fit. So a right fit for you is obviously not going to be the same fit for someone else. I would say three components are probably most important. You need to find the right fit academically, so a place where you're going to feel comfortable and confident and challenged all at the same time. Geographically, I can't tell you how many students come in and say they want to go to California, but when reality strikes, it's a lot more difficult to go that far from home than one might think. And the third would be, it needs to be the right fit financially. So having that open line of communication with your parents is very, very important through the process.
Word on the street is that you were the first and only female assistant basketball coach here at the Prep. What was that like?
That's a true statement, and it was entertaining and very enlightening. So that was my first year here at St. Augustine, so it was 1997, and Coach Rodeo loves to tell the story about when we were at the state championship final and he had a technical foul and was forced to sit in the box. And if you've ever seen Coach Rodeo coach, he doesn't sit, he walks. So my job as the assistant coach was to hold on to the back of his pants to make sure that he did not get another technical and get thrown out of the game.